On today's episode of The Front Row, we are in the offices of Ballet Lubbock in downtown in the Cultural District. And joining me today is Helen Duncum, who is the executive director here at the ballet, and the artistic director newly appointed is Lily Balogh.
Yay!
Yay!
Yes.
Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for being our guests on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Clint.
Well, this is a unique and wonderful thing that almost had a start a few years ago, but here it's come back again, so we can explore all of that. It's not a Stravinsky ballet or a Tchaikovsky ballet. It's a ballet that's been created by y'all, right?
It's an original.
An original
Absolutely.
ballet.
Yeah.
Helen, give us some details about that.
Yes. So, kind of the history of our Snow White. So, we first did Snow White, this version, in 2016, and it was choreographed and set, and the score was compiled by then artistic director Yvonne Rotz. And she wanted to kind of freshen up the story. She wanted to set it to music people maybe hadn't heard before. And so that's kind of how Ballet Lubbock's version of Snow White came to fruition. And so then now, well, first before that, we were supposed to do this performance in 2020. And unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to cancel that. It was a very painful email to have to send back then. But now, the brilliance that is our new artistic director, Lily Balogh, she has been given kind of full permission from Yvonne to edit the story, to change up choreography. So it really is kind of this whole collaboration of, the artistic vision that leads Ballet Lubbock telling Snow White.
Right. And this is your own creation, or
Yep.
Ballet Lubbock's own creation,
Yes.
right? So how wonderful. So we got to explore that a little bit. So we're talking about the creative part of the dancing of the ballet, but also music, I'm guessing, has to fall in there somewhere.
Yes.
And then all of the artistic sidelights that have to go with that. Oh my goodness, that's a challenge.
Yes.
Lily, as the artistic director, so where do you even begin?
So I luckily had archives from Yvonne's choreography, both the 2016 and the 2020 version. So I've decided to keep quite a bit of Yvonne's, I'm calling it legacy choreography. But then I created some of my new pieces in the ballet and I updated certain ones. And yeah, it was a really fun process to get to pick. And even with the dancers, I asked for their input. I'm like, do you guys like this? Does this feel nice on your bodies? Do we maybe want to change this here? So we tailored it to their strengths as well.
Right.
So that was a really fun process.
Did you decide to stay with the story? I mean, is it pretty accurate?
Yes, for the most part. There's a little twist at the end. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I think it's a really special ending. So I think the audience will enjoy it.
It's a very beautiful, heartwarming ending.
Yes.
I may have had a tear or two, but
Right.
yeah.
Were you able to use the full resources of the company?
Yes,
Could
I
use
was.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah?
We have 100 people in the cast, which has tripled in size since its original inception in 2016. So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of new builds for costumes and some new roles added as well.
Right. Well, and that's something else to talk about. This is certainly not the one-person show. To make something like this happen is a huge collaborative effort. Who all do you use, and what all do they do?
We have our amazing production crew. So they helped procure the sets that we're using. They've set up all of the lighting design by the wonderful Erin Fleming. We have our costume crew. So they have worked tirelessly since, I want to say, January to create all of the costumes for the show and to do all of the fittings. Am I missing anyone?
Oh man. So it's actually really cool. So one of the things people don't always realize is that because of the size of our stage, when we bring in backdrops and sets, typically we have to borrow from professional companies because they are the ones that also perform in theaters this size.
Yeah.
So these backdrops, actually Janie last summer went to Louisville, Kentucky and sourced these backdrops from the Louisville Ballet. And so they're beautiful, and seeing really what Janie can imagine in her mind, and then working with, as Lily mentioned, Erin Fleming, who is our lighting designer. What the two of them can put together along with the rest of the production crew is just incredible.
Wow.
So it's a really, again, really cool thing for our dancers, but it's also incredible to bring productions of this quality and pieces of productions of this quality to Lubbock as well.
Right. The other big part, music. If this is a creation of your own, what did you do for a score?
So Yvonne fell in love with Vitamin String Quartet before they were Bridgerton famous, and she emailed them, I guess, in 2016 and asked for rights to use this music, and they granted permission. So all of the music used in the score is Vitamin String Quartet adaptations of popular songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it recorded, pre-recorded?
It is
Yes.
pre-recorded,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so you get to practice with the real thing.
Oh, it's been very nice
it's-
for our younger dancers. The constant tempo has been really nice.
Yeah,
So,
that's great. Excellent. Well, one of the things that has been so impressive with Ballet Lubbock as an entity is your connection to the community and how you infiltrate into the community, the support that you get back, not just parental support, but just community support in general. So how does doing Snow White, how does that work in tandem with a community?
Oh man. So, and honestly, Lily can probably talk to this a bunch, but we do different festivals and lecture demonstrations. So festivals, if you can kind of distinguish between the two, festivals are we take a small group of dancers in costume and tell an abbreviated story. They perform shortened pieces from the ballet, and then lecture demonstrations are, we probably have anywhere from 2 to 5 dancers, and we go into other organizations or facilities or schools, and the people there get to learn a little bit of the choreography rather than watching. They're really involved in that artistic process. So.
Yeah.
I think you explained it well. Yeah, that's exactly right. Our festivals are at community centers and at hospitals, and where else?
So we went to,
Sorry.
we've done festivals
Done
with
so many.
Collab, with High Point Village, with
Crowning Point.
Adult Day Center. We've done UMC Children's Hospital, Covenant Children's Hospital. We've done little performances in all of our classes for our youngest kids. We did lecture demonstrations at Roscoe Wilson,
Leveland, right? Capital Elementary.
Elementary in Leveland, All Saints Episcopal, because
Yes.
we've got a bunch of dancers there too. And
Yeah.
so really just,
Yeah.
spreading
We try to
the
give
wealth of
back
ballet.
and-
Yeah. But so you've talked about a lot of different things there. You've talked about bringing interest, maybe even solace or entertainment to elderly populations.
Yeah.
Going out, reaching out to them when they may not be able to come here. But then you've also talked about reaching young people in the schools, and there's been so many studies, whether it's art, painting, or dancing or music. If you can get these kids at a certain age, you light the fire, and all of a sudden these are your kids of the future for your ballet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really neat, especially at schools that we go into in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, to see the same students year after year, and they remember us, and they remember the choreography that we taught them. They live for the day that Ballet Lubbock comes, and so it's really been exciting. And a lot of them also come to see the shows, and then maybe come and take some classes with us.
Sure.
So.
It's really awesome to see that mentorship between, it's typically our older company dancers or level 8 that get to go do these festivals and lecture demonstrations. And so seeing them interact with the younger kids and, answering questions and demonstrating, it's a really cool youth leadership moment.
Yeah.
So.
That's wonderful. That's great. Speaking of people and mentorship and things like that, tell us a little bit about your cast.
Okay, so our Snow White is Alexandria Flores, and our Prince is Noble Wynn. Both of them are names that, if you've seen any Nutcrackers throughout the years, you will recognize. Our evil queen is Evelyn Fisher, who is the kindest person I've ever met in real life. And then our dwarves are mostly seniors, and then we've got someone really, really special to me. She's not a senior, but her name is Sasha, and she is playing the lead woodland animal in in this case, she is a squirrel. But the last time that she was supposed to be in Snow White was in 2020, and she was 10 then, and she was going to be a squirrel in that production too. So it's just, I think, kind of special that she's getting to do that role now. And our wonderful Janie Bush crocheted her an acorn that is bigger than our heads. So watching her dance around with her acorn joyfully on stage is truly wonderful.
Well, that's
It's so joyful.
Yeah.
So joyful.
But that's full circle. She actually gets the
Yes.
fulfillment of doing what she was
does.
not
Yeah.
been able to do before.
It was.
I had the choice. I had a choice of making her a bird or something else, and I was like, no, she has to be a squirrel. You know?
And she's so excited about it. Oh my goodness. Especially now. It's just, and it's so funny looking at, when she was 10 and still on flat, and now, 6 years later, she has custom dyed point shoes to go with her costume because she just dances on point now.
That's right.
So it's really cool to see.
Well, for folks who want to see all this coolness and all of these things come to fruition, tell us about the times, dates, and how to get tickets.
Absolutely. So we have only 2 shows. So we really, we don't want people to miss out. It is Friday, April 10th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, April 11th at 2 p.m. And we also, before both shows, we have appointments in our Once Upon a Boutique for some for our youngest guests to kind of get dressed up in some magic. And we'll be taking walk-up appointments, but you can also get an appointment when you purchase your tickets online at buddyhollyhall.org. One thing that I really want people to know is, yes, you are buying a ticket to a performance, but your impact stretches well beyond once the applause is over. A lot of the programs that we just talked about, arts and medicine in the hospitals and Dance Connect in 42 classrooms in 26 elementary schools across 6 school districts, serving 800 kids weekly. Those are all free programs that Ballet Lubbock hosts to the community. So when you come to a performance, when you buy a ticket to the boutique or something like that, you are directly funding all of those programs that go into our community and bring the arts to all. Part of our mission is that, dance or ballet changes lives, and Ballet Lubbock changes lives. And so when people buy a ticket to Snow White or the Nutcracker or any future performance, they're doing just that. They're changing lives. Yeah.
All right. 2 performances, a Friday night, Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
And it's buddyhollyhall.org. Wonderful. Helen Duncum and Lily Balogh, thank you so much for all you do in our community and for the ballet and for being our guest on the show today.
Well, thank you,
Thank
Clint.
you. Thanks for having us.